Hello, hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Sideline Speaks with myself, Brittany Jones, alongside Jason Collins and Kevin Walker. What's going on, Kate Walker and Jay?
All is well. All is well. Looking forward to another great one.
Everything's good. Everything's good. Good stuff to get into tonight. So should be a fun show.
Absolutely, absolutely. Guess what time it is? But before I say that, before we get all excited about this, let me just put this out there. Please, for those who are new to our channel, for those who are watching us, please subscribe to us on YouTube at The Sideline Speaks. We're also on Twitter or X at Sideline Speaks, anywhere you can listen to your podcast. If you ask us a question or make a comment while we are live, we will do our best to respond to your question or comment. Now we can get excited. NFL is back. NFL training camp has
Let's
officially started
go.
this week. I know that some teams, of course, went back last week, the tail end of last week, but all teams come back this week. I know my Eagles came back this week. K-Walk, your 49ers are back. I'm sorry, today.
Yes.
Your 49ers came
Mhm.
back, I think, today as well.
Mhm.
Jay, if you're repping the Dallas Cowboys this year, I know they're in tomorrow.
We them boys, baby. Cowboys. Let's go.
So right now, we need to hear it right here, right now.
Yeah,
Are
Britt.
you going with the Cowboys this
I,
year?
I, I think I'm gonna ride that cowboy train for one more year. This is the
All
year
right.
it's gonna pay off. I'm officially a cowboy.
All right. So just to let you guys know, this is what K Walk. Is this the third year in a row or second
Third
year
Third
in a
year.
year.
row?
Third
Third
year.
So
year.
this is the third year in a
Mhm.
row that he has pledged his allegiance to the Dallas Cowboys. Jay, I think you are officially a fan now.
Yeah, you gotta be, man. You
Yeah, I'll
gotta be.
take it. I'll take it.
There's okay. All right.
I'll
So
take it.
before we get started, I just want to say, what's going on, Greg? What's
What's
What up,
up,
going on?
Greg?
Greg?
Thank you
What's
for
up,
always
brother?
supporting us, chiming in.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
And then Sandra T,
Sandy.
what's
What's up,
going on?
Sandy and
Hey,
She
Sean?
Sandy
and Sean.
Yep,
and
that's my
Sean.
sister and her husband.
Nice, nice.
Faithfully
Appreciate it, guys.
watching every week.
Appreciate it,
Make
guys.
sure we give them the shout out, of course. But yes, guys, things are moving fast. The Hall of Fame game is next week. That's August
Ooh.
1st. I think it's between the Texans and the Bears, I can
Yes, it
recall.
is. You're absolutely
So
correct.
that's technically the first preseason game.
Hmm.
I'm excited. I'm hyped. As you can see, I can't stop talking about it. And I know we need to get started on our topics.
Hmm.
But you guys ready to talk some sports?
Let's
Let's do
go.
it.
All right. So before we get into the football conversation, because during my segment, it's basically gonna be all football, guys. I do want to talk about the Olympics. Because it was announced, and I want to get your thoughts on this. It was announced that LeBron has been selected as the flag bearer, and he was selected by all the U.S. athletes. So if you don't know what that means during the opening ceremony, LeBron will be holding the flag to represent the United States of America. What are your thoughts, I guess, on LeBron being selected? Okay, Walker, I'm gonna start with you.
Yeah, I think it's warranted. I think it's a great move by all the athletes. I know you guys know that I'm not a big LeBron fan, but I do understand LeBron's name, like the image. It's huge. And right now, when you look around, you look around the United States and all the Olympics that's going to represent this great country. LeBron stands out the most. It's the biggest name right now. I mean, we always talk about the GOAT conversation, and now there's an athlete of is he the greatest athlete in 2000s? He's in that conversation as well. So I think it's warranted right now that he bears that flag. And I just had the utmost respect. I don't like him whatsoever. I don't like how he handles things, but I respect the heck out of him. I have to.
Mhm.
So yeah, when you look around everyone, I mean, you can say Simone Biles. You can name, a couple others. I forget who else the big name in there as well. But LeBron, I think, is warranted. And when you get, well, you said it was unanimous, correct? I don't know if it was a majority or unanimous, but nonetheless,
Majority.
yeah,
Mhm.
they all voted. I mean, he got the majority vote, and again, I think it's warranted. So hats off to him, and I think he'll do a great job representing it. I mean, we see. I know we're going to talk about the exhibition games a little bit, but you see the way he has played in the last two games to lead the U.S. men's basketball team, to victory in the latter part of the game, if you will. So he's just showing that he's warranted. He's still playing at a high level, even at the age of 39,
Mhm.
going to be 40. So without question, yeah, it's definitely warranted. And then congratulations to you, LeBron James.
I think Clutch paid him off. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
wow.
It's a joke, y'all. No, I think it's a huge honor. Congratulations to him. I do think it's well deserved, regardless of how you feel about the man. He is very well accomplished, not only in his basketball career, but in business as well. He seems to do a lot for the community as well. So I honestly think it's well deserved. I actually couldn't think of anybody who may have deserved it more than him at this particular time. So congratulations to him. I don't have much else to say, but I do know it's a big honor. But Jay, what are your thoughts on this? And also that he's the first basketball player to ever do it as
Yeah, I
well.
think it's pretty cool. I mean, this is his fourth Olympics, so I mean that's
Hmm.
showing you the excellence over a long period of time. Every 4 years for 16 years, this guy has been a staple in the Olympics. So I think he's really the only guy. I mean, Simone Biles, as you mentioned, K Walk. Like when I start thinking, okay,
Right.
if not LeBron, who else?
Yeah.
She was really the only other name that I could
Yeah.
even come
I
up
could,
with.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's a good honor for LeBron. I think it's cool that he's the first men's basketball player to do it. I think Sue Bird did it on the women's side and Dawn
Yes.
Staley as well.
Hmm.
But to be
Yes.
the first men's basketball player to get to do it, I think it's a pretty cool honor. So yeah, well deserving. A guy that's been around for years and years and years. So I think it's pretty cool.
And it's going
And
to be
it's
another notch in his belt as far as the GOAT talk. Oh, we get to say my MJ didn't do it. I didn't play with my son. I mean, MJ never played with his
Yeah.
son. We got that whole time. We
Yeah.
got to add that on to there too.
K-Walk, you said it faster than me, but I was
Oh, my
getting ready to say
bad, my
the
bad,
same
my
exact
bad,
thing.
man.
No, that's fine. Great minds think alike. So I was getting ready to say the same exact thing. But yes, I completely 100% agree with that. And another person that may have could have taken that honor as well would have been the White Mamba, Diana Taurasi, because she will also be there as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but I think right now it's fair to give it to LeBron because, like you guys said, we've had it before with women's basketball. We never had it with men's basketball. So another question with the Olympics that I did have, and I know I didn't tell you guys prior, but it's not too difficult. Being at the Olympics are coming up this week. Opening ceremony is in 3 days. I believe it's July 26th.
Yeah.
And there's so many different events, so many exciting events. I think I watch almost all of them. I record as many as I can, and I sit down and watch as many as I can if I don't have anything else to do. What are three of your favorite events? So I know you may have 5. Just give me 3 of your favorite events. Jay, I'm gonna come to you first.
So I think for me, track and field, like I'm always locked in on track and field.
Hmm.
So I think that's definitely going to be one category that I'm locked in on with all the different track and field events. I love it. And then obviously with Simone Biles back and always making history, I'll absolutely be paying attention to her and what she's doing in
Hmm.
gymnastics. And then basketball would be the other one. And I feel like on the women's side, I think they've been so dominant over the years that there's not much concern. But I do think on the men's side, it's a little bit intriguing just because the
Hmm.
competition has gotten better and they haven't looked great in the exhibition. So for me, those are the things that I'm really going to be focused on: the track and field, men's basketball, and seeing if Simone Biles can continue her historic run.
Yeah, and I think what people also are not understanding, the NBA game has changed as well. It's kind of becoming more in line with the FIBA
Yeah.
or international game. So you're getting just as much good competition over there as it is over here. But for me, my 3 favorite: basketball, absolutely. It's interesting. I think they were talking about putting flag football in. I'm curious to know how that's
They,
going to look in the
they
future.
did
But
do it.
that's
They
in.
have done it.
Oh, is it going to be this year?
Yeah, that's
Well,
it. Well,
oh,
Is
is
okay,
it
it
it's
this
not
this
year?
this
I
year.
believe
Olympics?
it. I believe it is. I was watching. Well, go ahead. I was watching the 18 and under and 15 and under this past weekend.
Hmm.
They had their tournament there. I believe I didn't read the. Maybe I missed the year, but I know they're adding flag football to the Olympics. Maybe I missed the year. Maybe I did.
Okay.
It's this year. I just got confirmation from my wife. It's this year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Thank you, Heather, for that. That's why men out there, you need some great support behind you or next to you, beside you. Let me correct that, beside you.
Yes.
But yeah, so that is something I will be looking forward to seeing this year as well. But basketball, and let me keep it to my list. Track and field, I think, takes the whole cake for me.
Yeah.
The 100, 200 meter, 300, 400 meter, the 400 meter hurdles, the 800 meters. I go on and on and on. And then beach volleyball. I
Yeah.
am in
Yeah.
tune. I am locked in on beach volleyball. Like I was out there playing it. I love watching it. It has to be beach volleyball. It can't be on the basketball court. Like I don't want to see the hardwood. I need to see the sand with the
Yeah.
dives and the amazing plays. So that's what I love. But K Walk, what are your three?
Yeah, I'm going to be a little different here. I know we can all say the same thing. They are very exciting in track, the basketball, and as well, and gymnastics as well. But I'm gonna put swimming in there. You know, my wife's a former swimmer, so I'm gonna throw some swimmers in there. I like Katie Ledecky, so she's just killing
Yeah.
records. I mean, she was
Yeah.
lapping someone at back in the trial. She laps a couple people there. So want to see how many records, how many medals she can win, how many records she can break. Most likely it'll be her own. I also like, I'm going to be the track. I got to throw track in there because I'm a 1, 2, 4, 4x4 guy. The relays, all that
Hmm.
good stuff. Long jump as well. Can't wait to look into that. And I just gotta go. I gotta go men's basketball. And back in the day, this wasn't like that for me. Well, it was back when Dream Team. But now, like Jay kind of alluded to, is like they don't look like they're the favorites. So this is going to be. I want to be locked in and see if these guys can pull this off because right now, I mean, you have to make them the favorite because of the roster and how it's constructed. But the way they've been playing, and I mentioned the last two games. LeBron had the old man, if you will, had to come and save the day for the last two games, and especially with Sudan. I didn't even know that was a country before LeBron James hit that hit that game winning shot. So another notch on LeBron's belt. He recognized he brought a country light to a country that we didn't even know existed. Most of us anyway. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So I got men's basketball, swimming, and track and field as well.
Yeah, and I got to shout out Simone Manuel. Is that her name? Did she make it to the Olympics this year? The swimmer.
Simone Manuel.
I'm not sure.
Not sure if she made it.
I would imagine she did because
Yeah.
she's really good, but I haven't been keeping up
Right.
with it.
Yeah.
Well,
So
if she
Katie
did, I'll be
Ledecky.
rooting for her as well.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, let's move on because I can get stuck on the Olympics forever. So we got to get into the NFL because training camp um has officially arrived, which means it's the new start of the NFL season. Um, and I know that we did recently talked about a little bit about the top 10 quarterbacks. I know we'll get into that a little bit more potentially. I want to know the quarterbacks with the most pressure to win this year, based off whatever it may be, whether it's team construction, whether it's age, contract, who do you think is, give me two. I would say give me 2 to 3 if you have them. Who are the top quarterbacks with the most pressure to win a Super Bowl? K Walk, I'm gonna come to you first.
Yeah, I think the first one you got to go with. I think you got to go with Aaron Rodgers. I think with him, I know he's coming off of that injury. I know he's going to be 40 years old, another 40-year-old guy. But I think the way this team is constructed, he has all of the weapons around him. He has a top 5 defense without question. You got to look at it and say, listen, this is a Super Bowl or bust team. Everyone, a lot of people, I want to say everyone, but there are a lot of people out there who have them, probably in their top 5, top 6 teams that are considered contenders without question. So I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers there, and I think you got to go my man Brock Purdy, man. I think you got to go with Brock Purdy because all of the weapons that he has around him and how close he's gotten his first 2 years, NFC Championship, Super Bowl loss. And we talked about this, the window for the San Francisco 49ers, although it's not closed, but it's getting closer to being closed. It's, that edge of that window is getting closer to the seal, if you will. I think that they got a couple of years ago, but especially with the big contract that we're talking about, they're calling it the blockbuster deal, if you will. And I just think that he has a lot of pressure on him to win it because a lot of people aren't putting him in the top 10. I know we're going to get into that as well. Don't want me to jump the gun, but a lot of people are just thinking that this guy is just a product of his surroundings. And I think that if he does that, if he's able to do it convincingly, that he can relieve that pressure. But I think he's under pressure. A lot of people may not say he's under pressure because he's not considered a top 10, but I personally
Hmm.
think that he's a lot of pressure.
Also, do you have a? That's a two or three. I can't remember what I just
You
said.
said
Did I
two. You
say
said two. You said
two?
two. Oh, I heard
Two.
two. I heard two.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
All right.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I agree with both of them. To be honest with you, I think Aaron Rodgers is aging fast. And who knows if he'll get past the fourth snap again this year. I mean, I hope he does. I don't wish injury on anybody, but that was super unlucky last year. And then Brock Purdy, he was actually on my list as well, only because of the contract that's getting ready to come up,
Yeah.
and the other players are getting a little bit older. So, and I'm not talking about necessarily about Debo or Brandon Ayuk if they hang on to him, but Trent Williams is on his way out. He's important to that offensive line, and there's a few other players as well. So, but it's still open. It's still open. They still got time. It might be a few years, so it's still there. For me, I didn't know which way to go. There's quite a few names on this list, but one player I would have to say Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. He might seem the most obvious, I guess, to most people, but I mean, you won 2 MVPs. You have, to me, fantastic talent around you. Your talent has improved. To me, you got a better coordinator over there as well with a good head coach. The defense has been outstanding the last couple of years. It just seems like when the playoffs come around, it's like something doesn't click with him. And I don't know what it is. He doesn't perform as well in the playoffs as he does in the regular season. And to me, that's a problem. So, and I think they have the team to do it. You have the team to get over the hump. It's just now it's coming back on the quarterback. And my second one, I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to go with Josh Allen. I wasn't sure about Josh Allen if I should do it, but he just doesn't get it done for me neither. And I know they got a little bit younger in the receiving core. Actually, they let everybody go over there. So
That's a
maybe
tough one for Josh, man,
yeah,
because Josh don't
I
have
was like,
anybody.
maybe I should give him another chance. So maybe I'll take away that pressure. And that's the case, and I'm gonna just go with Dak Prescott. I just think that he was my third. Dak Prescott, similar situation to Lamar Jackson. Like, you have a lot of talent around you now. Unfortunately, it's a tough situation this particular year because the Cowboys just don't have a whole lot of money, and they're in a dire situation to try to figure out how to pay everybody. And then who knows if the Cowboys are willing to pay you. They're already talking about paying CeeDee Lamb prior to you, or making CeeDee Lamb more of a priority than you, which to me is concerning if I'm Dak Prescott. I'm supposed to be the franchise quarterback. I'm supposed to be the one, in my opinion, to get paid first. So, but we'll see. We'll see how that works out. But Jay, who are your quarterbacks with the most pressure to win?
Yeah, Britt, you and I are thinking a lot alike on this one. I had Dak as my number one guy, just because anytime you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, it's going to be pressure to win. Like, the fans
Right.
create that pressure. The media is constantly going to be talking about you. And quite frankly, people have been waiting for a quarter century for them to get something done. So
Right.
I think Dak is always going to be under pressure as long as he's the quarterback of the Cowboys. And then I agree, Lamar Jackson. And I don't even know that some of the criticism and pressure that he's got is really fair. But I do think if he doesn't get it done, or at least have some serious success in the playoffs, those conversations are going to continue. I did have Brock Purdy, K-Walk, as my third, only because
Right.
I think, like, if you talk to 49ers fans, I guarantee you they believe that they've let at least 2 Super Bowls get away in the recent past.
Yes.
For whatever the reason, why, like, they had the Chiefs on the ropes. Like, I mean, whatever it is, they feel like, hey, we should have at least 2 Super Bowls under our belt. And you don't stay in that window. You don't stay in that on that run forever. So, like you said, K-Walk, that window is starting to close. So I think they got to get it done now. I think the pressure's on Brock. And not to mention the fact that they have a great team. Like, if you just look at
Right.
that team, you look at that roster, top to bottom, offense, defense, they're absolutely loaded. So,
Coach.
I mean, if you start making a list of teams that you think are going to win the Super Bowl, you're not going to get very far before you come to San Francisco. So I think that alone puts Brock kind of right in the line of fire. So he would be the other guy that I was thinking about.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to go to the comments. So Reggie Cook, I want to shout him out. I already like this content. We appreciate
Appreciate
it,
it,
Reggie.
Reggie.
We
Appreciate it, brother.
appreciate
For
it.
real.
And you're not alone. Jay has officially pledged his allegiance to the Cowboys, so he is also a Cowboy
See why he liked the
fan as well.
content.
Yes, sir, Reggie. Yes, sir.
That explains a
he is
lot,
also he is
Reggie.
also a Cowboy fan as well. So you are not alone with that. And then Greg 144 came out and said Deshaun Watson, that's a good one. Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers and Dak Prescott. Prescott could potentially be out if I'm sorry, I can't read that. Hold on. Be out if it doesn't at least make the championship game. Watson has got to look better than he has the last 2 years.
Yeah, especially with
Greg,
that contract.
that
Yeah.
one was on me, not you. Your
Yeah.
your 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 punctuation and stuff was great. I just couldn't figure out how to read it, so that was on me. That's for those who are new. That was a joke that I made a few.
Yeah.
Was it last week or a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago
Couple
between me
weeks
and
ago.
Greg?
Couple weeks ago. Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's a few other quarterbacks that we probably didn't mention that could also be thrown in there. But I think the ones that we mentioned are really up at the top. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting 2024-25 NFL season.
For
But now
sure.
that we talked about the quarterbacks, we gotta go to who they report to. Um, and that's the head coaches. So just give me two guys. It was quite a few of these, but give me two and your thoughts on each one. But I need to know which head coaches are on the hot seat this year. Jay, I'm gonna come to you first on this one.
Kind of for the same reasons that I said Dak, I would say Mike McCarthy. We know
Mhm.
Jerry Jones has
You still
always
there?
kind of had, he's not going to be much more patient. I mean, people have talked about McCarthy being out of there almost every
Mhm.
year. And I just feel like right now it is the time. Like he's got to get it done, or I don't really think he'll be back next year. So I think McCarthy, even though he's had a reasonable amount of success, he hasn't been able to get them over the hump. And I think Jerry Jones knows his window is closing as well. So I think
Right.
he wants to win another Super Bowl before he's no longer, with us or no longer running the Cowboys organization in the way that he is. So I think
That was a nice way of
he
saying
wants to
it.
get it done. He wants to get it done,
Right.
Britt. So I think
He's
McCarthy
a
for
true fan now.
sure is on that list. Um,
Mhm.
a second one didn't really jump out at me too much, Britt. I'm gonna say your Eagles, Britt, only
Mhm.
because of the dysfunction that we saw last year and the
Mhm.
way that they just sort of collapsed. And I think
Mhm.
if they have another season where there just seems to be dysfunction, where it just seems like they're not on the same page, it seems like the players in the locker room aren't necessarily vibing with the head coach. I think maybe at the end of the year that could be an issue as well. So I'll throw the Eagles in there as my second team.
Just like a Cowboy fan. Can't leave the Eagles out of your conversation. You got to join us in. But no, I'm gonna be honest with you, Jay. I agree with you that he was at the top of my list. Nick Sirianni, especially being that last year, and he said it 1,001 times, whether people wanted to believe it or not, that was his offense. Nick Sirianni, your offense is terrible. And granted, the coordinator can't get out of it because you are the play caller. So that just means situational. What plays are you calling? And he just didn't make the best decisions. But there was no creativeness to the offense, nothing, no motion, nothing to help figure out the blitz. And I kept saying, and I keep telling you guys, as you guys know, to me, that's elementary school level. You should be able to protect your quarterback against a blitz or have some hot routes or utilize the running back more, whatever it may be. So he was absolutely at the top of my list. But now they have Kellen Moore, and apparently Kellen Moore has complete autonomy or complete control of the offense. And Nick Sirianni is basically a CEO of the team, whatever the heck that means. And
Right.
then my second one is I'm gonna go with Robert Salah. Salah. That's his
Okay.
Salah,
name, Robert
Salah, Salah.
Salah. Robert Salah. I just feel like he's been there for a while and they just haven't gotten over the hump. And I understand the situation that happened last year with Aaron Rodgers, but even after Aaron Rodgers, look at the decisions that they had to make at the quarterback position, where you clearly had a quarterback that just to me is just not right for the Jets program or the Jets team that he has started, and he absolutely should have went in a different direction. I just feel like his decision making as a head coach just isn't right for this team. Now, I don't know if that means he'll go elsewhere and do well. Maybe I just feel like he could be potentially like one of those guys who may be more of a defensive coordinator versus a head coach to control an entire team. If they don't get it done, I really think he's on the outs, because I think this will be really his last chance, and he just hasn't gotten it done for me. But K Rock, what are your two head coaches that's on the hot seat?
Yeah, Brett, you stole my two. I don't want to say stole my two, but I agree with you there without question. Sirianni, I was going to go Salah and then Sirianni in that order, but I'll start with Sirianni
Mhm.
because of the fact of the matter is everything that Jay mentioned. Because what transpired last season, with that they started 10-1, and then everything just went downhill from there. And I know they changed the offensive coordinators, changed the
Right,
defensive coordinator, and brought in two quality guys, Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio as well. So right now, if it doesn't happen for those guys, if they miss the playoffs or if they are out at first round or a wild card spot, then Sirianni has to go because he's the common denominator. Because
right,
they boosted that for the most part. They didn't really have to do too much, but bringing in a Saquon Barkley
Yeah.
definitely makes you a lot better
yeah,
Yep.
without question, especially with a Jalen Hurts there as well. And obviously you solidify Smith and AJ Brown, with those contracts, and they brought in other guys as well. But yeah, I think that he may be number one, if not one A, one B.
mhm,
But I do agree with you, Robert Saleh. Not because I'm a solid guy. You guys know his days in
yeah,
San Francisco. I thought he's an excellent head. I think he's an excellent head coach. I just think we're just talking about the Jets. I mean, like any coach, the Jets are going to jet. And that's just what it is. I mean, look. They won this. What, back in 69 or whenever it was. I forget the actual year with Joe Namath.
before
Since
we
then
were
they
all
just been,
born.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. And since then they just been the same old Jets. I mean, they
Right,
have some quality years here and there, but at the end of the day, they're still going to be who they are. And I think Robert Saleh, last year you mentioned, Britt, that losing
mhm,
Aaron Rodgers to that injury on a fourth down play, nonetheless. And then you have a guy that a lot of people don't have confidence, including myself, and that's Nathaniel Hackett. He was a
yeah,
package deal with the offensive coordinator there.
mhm,
If you bring in Aaron Rodgers, you got to bring in Nathaniel Hackett. And then when Hackett doesn't have, arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, what does his offense look like? We've
Yeah.
seen it.
right,
So that's got to, you got to somehow get him out of there. But I know that comes with Aaron Rodgers as well. But
mhm,
nonetheless, he's in New York. He's in the media capital of the world, and they're calling for his head. So, like you mentioned, Britt, hot seat. I don't think his seat is that cool, to be honest with you. I think it's a lot hotter than that, to be honest with you. So he's got to go out there. He's got to win it. He's got to win a division. He's got to win. He's got to get to the AFC Championship in order for his job to be safe. That's the expectations that they have here.
two questions pertaining to Robert. What's his
Salah,
last name? Yo?
Salah,
Sala. Thank you
Salah.
to Robert Sala. For those who are watching, I'm not great with names. I will do my best to pronounce it, but they could pronounce names better than I can. I need to. I know I need to be better.
You good?
But with Robert Sala, um, how does this going to work? Him already being on a hot seat, and then as we just heard, that Hassan Reddick is currently he's not reported to training camp. He's holding
Hmm.
out. You think this will hurt him, or you don't? Do you think the owner will give him some sort of grace with this particular situation? Anybody can answer it.
Go ahead, Jeff. Okay.
I don't know that it hurts him because I think in the NFL, a lot of this is par for the course. I mean, you see it
Right.
throughout organizations with different players. Every year, there's always somebody that holds out. But at the end of the day, Britt, like winning cures everything. Like if he can figure
Mhm.
out a way to win, none of it'll be a problem. And if he doesn't win, then everything is going to be a reason, right? So I think
Right.
that's at the end of the day, that's really what it's going to be about. Can he figure out a way to win? And if he does, he'll be fine. And if he can't, they'll think of any and everything to blame him for. So
Hmm.
I think that's
Right.
just really the way it's going to shake down.
Right. That
Yeah.
does make sense. K-Walk, you got any thoughts
Yeah,
on this?
I don't think it's going to hurt him. I think they'll get it
Mhm.
done, and I think Robert Sala. I mean, Robert Sala is definitely going to. He doesn't have anything to do with it, as far as the
Hmm.
negotiation process of it. But
Right.
I think Hassan Reddick, and I think they knew when they pulled the trigger on that trade, that Hassan Reddick and his camp was saying, "Listen, we're looking for an extension. We're looking for a long-term extension." And like we mentioned prior to the show, is that's that comes with the territory. That if we're going to make this
Right.
trade, if we're gonna agree to this trade or what have you, I'm just letting you know now that I'm looking for a long term extension. Are you willing to do that? And they say yes, and then
Hmm.
they pull the trigger on on that. If not, then I think he's what, in his third year, fourth year. What is he's still in his rookie deal? I know that much, right, Britt? I know he was
Who?
with the Eagles.
Robert. I'm sorry,
No,
Hassan
no,
Reddick.
no, Reddick. Yeah, Reddick.
Reddick.
I think he's
No, he
still
got
in
an
his rookie deal.
extension. He got an
They'll
extension
give him
with
an.
us.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, I
I think he
missed
only
that.
got
Okay.
one extent. Wait, did he get an extension with us?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if he's
Yeah,
still on
yeah,
his
he
rookie
got a
deal.
similar deal that we gave to Bryce Huff when he first
Oh,
came
okay.
in. We gave him that deal. So he will be going on to his third deal.
Wow, he's been in the league that long. Good
Yeah, he's
gracious.
Yeah,
29 years old. So
Good
about 29 or
gracious.
yeah,
30.
he's
Yeah.
yeah. So
Wow,
he's
where have I been? Good gracious.
Right.
Okay.
Because
All
I
right.
think
So
we
yeah.
were
So
his
yeah. I'm sorry. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, go ahead.
No, no. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think we were his third team, I believe, and the Jets would be his fourth, I believe.
I thought y'all drafted
Or
him.
no, 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 no. He was with Arizona. Remember, he was with Arizona first, I believe. He was at Arizona,
yeah.
and then they
Cardinals
let him
drafted him
go.
in
Wow.
2017. Then the
Right.
Panthers. Then
Then
the
the Panthers,
Eagles.
and
Yeah.
then the
Son Red.
Eagles.
God, dog. Where have I been? Okay. So that changes a lot of my thinking now. Okay. So with that being said, 25 to 30 million. And wow. Yeah, so to answer the question, Brick, believe it or not, I do recall the question. Yeah, I don't think it hurts him. To be honest with the meeting, Robert Sala. I think you
Mhm.
obviously want to get him in there. You traded for him for for obvious reasons, because he's a difference maker to add alongside Q Williams. So I think that you want to get him in there as quickly as possible. So. I don't know if he's going to get that much. Wow, I did not know he was in the league that long. Well, good gracious, at least not with those teams. So, with that being said, yeah, I don't think it's going to hurt him too bad, but you definitely want him in there for sure, Britt.
Yeah, I don't know if, and that was the battle with him and the Eagles. The Eagles are like, look, you're getting a little older. There's certain things that we may want you to do in this particular defense that you may not be capable of doing, or you're not that you're not capable of doing. You just not. It's not your strength. To me, he's a pure
Hmm.
pass rusher. Line him up on one side, he's going to rush the passer. Um, but Vic Fangio, he likes to, drop his pass rushers in coverage at
Yeah,
times. That's not a strength of Hassan Reddick's, or you know, uh, 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 playing well in the rushing attack. That's also not his strength as well. So he is a pure pass rusher. He does incredible at that. He's incredible because I think he's one of a few players to get double digit sacks with three different teams. But I think because of his other limits is the reason why teams were willing to move on from him or not willing to pay what
gotcha.
he wants to get paid. I think that's one of the bigger reasons. You gonna say
Wow.
anything, Jay?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. And then my other question was regarding Nick Sirianni, because I think we all had him on the hot seat, right? We're all in agreement with that. But let's look at it. He's been the head coach for about 3 years now. This will be going to his fourth year. 2 to 3 years made it to the first round of playoffs. He did lose his second year. Something amazing just happened. His second
Sorry about that.
year. No, you're fine. Second year, he went to the Super Bowl, although he did lost. Should we give grace to him, although it was a complete collapse during the last 6 games of the season? Should we say, you know what, this may be something that odds are it might not occur again? We're not sure yet. We won't really know until this particular year. They have better, like K-Walk said, better coordinators in place with way more experience, with way more success than last year's coordinators. Should we get grace because of his resume to Nick Sirianni, or should it be like if he don't perform this year, he should be out? Anybody can take it because it's not on our list.
Britt, I'm not. I don't really think grace, or at least for me, I'm not into the giving him grace, because for me it's not
Mhm.
just about like what he's done on the field. For me, it's about just his demeanor, and he just doesn't he doesn't carry himself like a head coach to me. Like he's a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of a hothead. He comes off to me a little bit like a frat boy. And I just some of his antics to me just don't scream NFL head coach, leader of men. This guy's gonna have my ear. Like, so I question those things. Like, he might win
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of games because he's got a really good team, and he's got, like K Walk pointed out, veteran, well respected offensive and defensive
Right.
coordinators. But at some point, like, this has to be a guy that you want to follow. This has to be a guy that you're really willing to run through a wall for, right? And I don't get that vibe from him. So for me, those are the things that kind of make me say I don't know about this guy. So I think he's got to prove those things this year if he wants to stick around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think for
agree
me,
there. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm
oh,
sorry, Brent. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Just your team.
I was gonna say, I think for me, I don't think the players necessarily have a problem with Nick Sirianni. I think they respect them from the standpoint of, Nick Sirianni has their back. Whenever a player is getting called out, Nick Sirianni is the first one to take ownership of it, or make sure he has their back. So I don't really mind some of the antics. I'm like, just have fun. Everybody wants to have fun on the job. I don't really care about that. What it comes down to me is how the team performs on the field. If I don't see it, fine. If you want to have the antics, fine, but you better be winning in the process, right? The antics while losing, that's why I have the problem with that. And granted, everybody deserves an opportunity to mature as well. Andy Reid went through the same exact thing with the Philadelphia Eagles when he was our head coach. When his first couple years, you just used to see him screaming back and forth with players, with the crowd, whatever it might be. He was a little bit of a hothead as well, and then look what he ended up developing into. I need to see the success and the wins on the field. If that's not matching, if I don't see creativity in your offense, if I don't see certain things when it comes down to the play or certain hirings and things like that, then I'm like, you need to go. The other stuff I don't really care about personally, um, and that's what I'm saying about. So for me, because of the because of the collapse that happened last year, and because I know Shane Steichen was the coordinator for the 2 years, his first year and the second year we went to the Super Bowl. To me, I think he should get responsibility for the reason why that team went to the Super Bowl, and that's my concern. I just don't think he's a good head coach when it comes to creating an offense and play calling. But K Walk, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you guys there, or with Jay as well. I mean, when Jay mentioned like there's no grace there because of the fact of the matter is, you've seen what happened. I mean, you changed the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinators, as
Mm-hmm.
we all alluded to. Now, if the same thing happens, you got to point your finger at what's the common denominator there, and it's the head
Right.
coach. It's the age old saying, and fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I don't think
Right.
I don't think they're gonna put themselves in that situation by any stretch of the imaginations. And then, as we mentioned, they are a talented team, one of the best teams in there, a Super Bowl contender. They have all the pieces in the right place right now. And if it happens to be a collapse, or if there's just not any connection there, I know Jalen Hurts has come out and said, I read one report that he's got to be more on a page with Sirianni
Mm-hmm.
there. So it seemed like there was a disconnect there between him and the head coach and the quarterback, and that's a bad disconnect to have in any
Mm-hmm.
organization. I don't care what any sport that you're in. If the head coach and your starting quarterback, your franchise quarterback, that has a disconnect, that's a problem. So they got to correct that, and if they don't, then yeah, there's absolutely zero grace. And I'm not going to say it, I'm not wishing upon this, but if they are like at 500 around 8 games, 7 games, 9 games, 10 games, or whatever, do they pull the trigger there because they don't, and they're still in contention? Do they pull the
Mm-hmm.
trigger because of what happened last season?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm being honest, guys, I don't think it's going to happen again, but you just
I don't
never
think
know.
it either. I
Sport,
don't think it is. Yeah, I
yeah,
don't think it's either.
sports is sports, and you just never know what can happen. So we got a
Yeah.
couple comments because they a couple people just wanted to chime in on this, and this is interesting to me. And K Walk, I'm gonna ask you to respond to this one. We got McCarthy and Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan. Why Kyle Shanahan? McCarthy, yeah, because we seen his number, but Kyle Shanahan, um, You know what? It's hard to say Kyle Shanahan because he's been there every, like Jay alluded to, he's been a couple Super Bowls away. Because who are we going to go out there and get and become an immediate Super Bowl contending or Super Bowl winning head
Right.
coach? Just give me one. I mean, give me one. You gonna go out there
Mhm.
and get Andy Reid? You ain't gonna get Andy Reid to replace him. So who you gonna get? I mean, second best is better than third, fourth best. I know it's not the best because of but everything is going on. But I'm telling you right now, Shanahan is a long term guy. He's going to be there for as long as he wants to be. Believe it or not. I mean, again, some of these. When I hear stuff like that, Kyle Shanahan, he gets there, but he doesn't win it. But he's getting there, and like Jay alluded to, one play away. You have him on the ropes, but you can't finish. That's what it comes down to as far as Kyle Shanahan. Like McCarthy, you know what? That's and Jay. We talked about, it's America's team. Just like Dak's under that pressure, Kyle and McCarthy's going to be under that pressure
Yeah.
too,
Right.
because it's America's team, and they're under the pressure to win each and every season. But Kyle Shanahan, you guys miss me with that. I get it. But who you like? Which tree you going to shake that? You can just get a Super Bowl
Mhm.
head coach out of there. I don't understand how that works. But that's
Jay,
just
you
my
got
guy.
any thoughts on?
That's my
No,
You got
I,
any
I,
thoughts on
I
Kyle
agree with
Shanahan?
I agree with K Walk. I like, to me, like, sometimes, like, Kyle Shanahan is a fantastic coach. Like,
Mhm.
you can watch, and even if they didn't win, you can watch the way that he coaches, the way that he calls plays,
Right.
the way that he does things. Like, he is a good coach. And like K Walk said, if you're going to get rid of him, like, who's coming through that door would be my question. I think it'd be really hard to upgrade from him right now. So I don't think he's on him and John Lynch. I mean, they're connected at the hip. So if
facts.
you're getting rid of Shanahan, well, that means
Makes
Lynch is
sense.
going to have to go too.
There,
And I just don't see that happening.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that happening as well. It would have to be something drastic, like the team goes 4-12 for maybe a year or two, or like it would really have to be something drastic. Or maybe
Don't even sound right.
Kyle
Don't even
Shanahan,
sound.
like he Walk alluded to, says, you know what, I've been here long enough. I think it's time for
Yeah.
me to break ties with you guys and just try something different. Or maybe the organization will eventually say that, but right now I think it's
Nah.
way too early. He's just been winning every year,
Jed
so
York.
or at
Jed
least
York's not that though.
right, or at least putting his team in position to win every single year. So it's a little tough. Look, if
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin can stay with the Steelers every year,
Yeah.
then
Bring his
they
name in
haven't
there. Bring his name in there. If you're gonna bring Kyle Shanahan in
right.
there,
Then
bring Mike Tomlin name in there too.
I think Kyle Shanahan can stay as well.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna move on. But Mel from Mandel
And
Smorts, what's going on?
What up,
What's going
Mel?
on,
what's
Mel?
up, brother? Appreciate you, brother.
And then is it Hassan Terrell?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Hassan,
Give me a
what's
second.
going on?
I saw
Correct
the
me if
first
I'm
name.
wrong.
I thought Reddick was coming for us right there. I saw the first name.
Right. I was like, wait a
Like,
minute.
whoa, okay.
All right, guys, let's move on. This is my last topic, honestly. It's just a little fun thing that I wanted to do before, we go into break and then Jay takes over with his topics. And we've seen this on other places. I wanted to try it with K Walk and Jay. And I have 5 names. We're gonna do NBA and NFL, maybe throw in the WNBA if we have time. I have 5 names, and I want these guys to rank them. Now, I'm gonna name one player. They have to tell me where in 1 through 5 they're gonna rank them without knowing who the next player is going to be. All right. So I'll at least give you for the first one. I'll at least give you the topic. It's going to be NBA guards.
Okay.
So all guards for this
Okay.
one. All
That
right.
makes it
So the
easier.
first.
AI is on here.
Oh no, it's current players. Current players.
Oh,
All
current
current
player. Okay,
players.
okay. My bad.
Yes, all current players. All right. So the first one we have. I wonder if I should write this down. But actually, you know what? I'm gonna pick somebody to go, and then we'll discuss it afterwards. Jay, you said it's gonna be easier, so I'm gonna come to you first.
Okay.
So the first one, 1 through 5, where are you putting Jalen Brunson?
I'm gonna put him at 3. Put
Okay.
him at 3.
All right. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna just put 3 next to his name. That helps me out. All right. So the next one's going to be Bradley Bill.
I'm gonna put him at 5.
All right. Maybe this is easy. Okay. And then we're gonna have Russell Westbrook.
Is there a 6?
I gotta go. I gotta go 4. I gotta go 4 with Westbrook. Hoping you got a couple players left on that list, Britt.
All right, so far we got Jalen Brunson at 3, Bradley Beal at Russell Westbrook at 4, Bradley Beal at 5.
Yeah.
Next we're gonna go Tyrese Maxey.
I would put him at 2.
2. Okay.
I'm gonna put him at 2.
Drew Holiday.
Come through, Britt. Come through. don't change up your list.
No, I'm not changing it up. And then the last one,
Kyle
I'm
Lowry.
good at this one. Tyler Hero.
It was Hero.
Are you serious?
No, it wasn't Hero.
No. That would have been a good one, though.
That would've been a
SGA,
good one.
yeah, he's number
SGA.
1. Yeah, I think I nailed that.
Yeah,
All right,
I agree,
okay,
Jay. I agree. Good stuff there, Jay.
All right, so what K-Walk? I'm gonna come to you. Would you change any of these? He said 1 SGA, 2 Tyrese Maxey, 3 Jalen Brunson, 4 Russell Westbrook, 5 Bradley Beal.
I would. The only thing I would change, I think, is a coin flip. Is 4 and 5. That's about it. I mean, you could put Bradley Beal there ahead of Westbrook either way. But I like it. No, I wouldn't change it because it's
I
the
thought you were
first.
going to say 2 and 3.
Yeah, I thought he was
Brunson and Maxey.
Nah. I like Max. No, I
though.
like Max. No, I like Max. Yeah, no,
Okay.
I have no problem with it whatsoever.
Okay.
No, I like it. I like it.
All right, so okay.
That's not
All
bad,
right,
Jay.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Here we
Not
go.
bad.
Okay,
No, it's not.
you're up.
It's
I know,
not
right?
gonna be tough. It's not gonna be hard.
Pressure.
All right, let's do NFL wide receivers.
There you go.
Since you're the wide receiver, D1 wide receiver out of Temple University. Don't know your number. You never told me your number.
20.
20. Ooh,
20.
I thought your number was 21. Close. See? Okay, well, I know we'd be here sometimes.
I wore that like a one.
All right. First player, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I'm not a
You
big
putting
fan of this
1
guy.
and 5.
All right, I'm not a big fan of this guy. Man. I think he's a little overrated. So I'm gonna go 5. I'm gonna go 4. I'll go 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, 4.
save me a spot.
Okay. Next we have your guy. Well, hopefully he stays your guy. Brandon Ayuk.
Dang, Britt. Maybe I should have put him at 5. I put him at 5. I put Ayuk at 5.
Ayuk at 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Ayuk at 5. Okay.
Because I'm just trying to think about who you're going to bring up. That's what I'm looking at.
Hey,
So.
hey, it's a lot of people.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Greg, I'll shout your list out for the NBA guards once we finish this one. So you got 4 Amon-Ra St. Brown from the Lions, 5 Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
All right. Jamar Chase.
3.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to channel my inner Brit
have-
here, Jay. Trying to channel my inner Brit here.
I was trying to make this one tough.
On to somebody.
This one, Mike Evans.
Freak. Dang. All right, I'm going 2. Definitely going 2. I got the only
2?
one. Yeah.
Okay. So far at 2, Mike Evans, 3, Jamar Chase, 4, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 5, Brandon Ayuk. Last one, you're gonna have no choice, but Stephon Diggs.
Oh, what the heck?
Never said they was gonna be all superstars.
You right.
Well, some of them are stars.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, Jay, I need to get your thoughts on this one. So 1 was Stephon Diggs, 2, Mike Evans, 3, Jamar Chase, 4, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 5, Brandon Ayuk. What would you have changed?
Yeah.
I'd have Chase at 1. Okay, well,
Yeah,
you agree
sure.
with that? Chase
Absolutely.
at 1. I think. I mean, I know you put Ayuk behind St. Brown. I think I would have put Ayuk ahead of him. So I think I would go Ayuk at 2.
I think
Well, it wasn't intentionally.
St. Brown at 3. Then Diggs and Evans.
I agree with that. That's exactly how I would have went with it.
Chase,
So,
Ayuk, St. Brown, Diggs, Evans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Guys, let us know if you agree. What's your NFL wide receiver out of those 5 options? How would you rank them? Now you guys get to cheat a little bit because you guys already know what it
Yeah,
is.
because you
But
already know.
Greg for the
Okay.
NBA guards said 1
I like
SGA,
that.
2
Can't
Maxey,
argue
3
with that.
Brunson,
Can't
4
argue with
Bill,
that.
and
Yeah.
5 Westbrook. I think me and K Walk, we
Yeah.
said that we would do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I accidentally just clicked it by mistake.
Oh,
um,
you're good
but
there.
he said, "Oh,
What?
Greg said 1 Mike Evans, 2
Evans.
Stephon
Wow.
Diggs, 3 Amon-Ra
Jeez.
St.
What?
Brown, 4 Jamar Chase, and 5 Brandon
Whoa.
Ayuk." Greg, I don't
Whoa.
know if I agree with you on that one, but
Yeah,
I
bro.
respect you for putting it out there like that.
If you turned it upside down, now even that wouldn't work. But I was gonna say if you turn it like flipped it around, that even won't work for me. But that's interesting. That's his list, though. That's his list. Can't argue with it.
All right, guys, 2 more. Jay, you're not getting out of this one. I'm trying to figure out. Actually, you know what? Coin flip. Let's see. Jay, you want the cornerbacks or the WNBA goats?
I want the WNBA goats.
Mm,
Let K Walk take those corners.
Yeah, you're a defensive
mm.
guy. You take the corners. I had the
Like
receivers.
I don't know if I should do that though, Jay. I know you said that, but I don't know if I should do that. I'm sorry, Jay. I'm gonna override that decision.
All
I'm gonna
right.
go give you the
Okay.
corners. You was the DB. Come
K
on now.
Walk probably knows the corners better than I do, but
You
let's
know these
go.
corners.
Let's
You
do it.
know these corners. All right. So 1, Jalen Ramsey, the Miami Dolphins. Where you putting that 1 through 5?
I'm gonna put him at
Mm-mm.
3.
I thought you were gonna say two.
I'm putting him at 3. Put him at
3?
3. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
No,
3.
no helping, K Walk. No
Okay, my
helping.
bad. My bad. My bad.
All right. So let's see. Legarius Sneed from the Titans.
I like Sneed. I'm putting him at 2.
2. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna go with your guy, Trayvon Diggs from the Cowboys.
I'm cool putting him at. I'm actually gonna put him at 5. I'm gonna put him at 5. I
5.
know he makes a lot of plays, but he gives a lot of plays up as well.
Okay. All right. 2 more. We're gonna go Patrick Surtain from the Broncos.
I like him, but he's got to go at 4. And I'm just hoping you save the best for last, Britt.
Darius Slay for the Eagles. No,
Oh.
I'm playing. I'm messing with
Oh.
you.
Oh.
It's
Wow.
Sauce
Nah, go ahead,
Gardner's.
man.
It's
Okay,
Sauce Gardner.
I'll take Sauce at number 1. I can live with that.
Okay, so 1 K Walk. We got 1 Sauce Gardner, 2
Mhm.
Legarius Sneed, 3 Jalen Ramsey, 4 Pack Sertain the second, and 5 Trayvon Diggs. Is there anything? Do you agree, or is there anything you would change?
I agree. Um, I did put Diggs at 5. I had
Hmm.
Ramsey at 4. I had Snead at 3. I had Gardner at 2, and this is in while it was going on, ladies and gentlemen. So I was,
Hmm.
and I had Certain at 1. As soon as you said Certain, I immediately put him at 1. So I think he's one of the best.
Yeah, I think I like Sauce Gardner, but there's something about
Yeah.
Sertain to me that jumps off the screen a lot. So I'll probably put him at 1 as well. But again, this is us after the fact. And I already knew what I would put down. And I would have Trayvon Diggs on this list last. So there's some differences there. Again, let us know in the comments, guys, what order you would put these NFL cornerbacks, these young corners. K Walk, final one. WNBA GOATs. I
Okay.
had to throw the WNBA in there. We got to give respect to the ladies because they are
Of course.
purely balling. But these are the GOATs, so none of these are current players. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
All right, let's go. First one, Lisa Leslie. Rank them 1 through 5.
Mm, Oh my God!
I
Don't
should
make
say
me
more.
do
Let me change the topic. It's more top 25. There we go. Top 25. They're GOATs, but top 25.
So I'm still ranking them. Oh, top 25. Okay, I got what you're saying.
Yeah, top 25. So you know it's going to be more than 5
Four.
GOATs.
4.
Lisa Leslie at 4.
4. Yeah, 4.
All right. Brittany Griner.
5.
Dang, no love for Brittany Griner.
I know I do a lot of love for Brittany, but I just thinking about who else is you going to come up with?
Cynthia Cooper.
Ooh, dang, Britt. 2. Gotta put her at 2.
2.
I don't know. I don't know who else you
Okay.
have, but I'm hoping it's 2. Yeah,
Cheryl Swoops.
3.
3. Okay.
Yeah,
So far, guys, Cynthia Cooper's 2. Cheryl Swoops is 3. Lisa Leslie 4. Brittany Griner is 5. And then Maya Moore.
yeah. Bam, I got
Is
it.
Jay,
Cool.
what are your thoughts on this? Me personally, I actually don't think it's that bad.
No, I think it actually worked out for K Walk. I think
It
Maya
did.
Moore, then Coop, and then Swoops, and then Lisa Leslie. Yeah, and Griner. Yeah, I mean, maybe people might argue that Lisa
Swoops
Leslie's
and cool.
better
Yeah,
than Swoops. I
yeah.
don't know, but I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good.
I like this, Britt. Keep this
Yeah,
one rolling. Yeah, keep this one rolling. I like
yeah,
this one.
I'll keep it rolling. Yeah,
Yeah,
I actually
please
like
do.
it too. It's nothing I would really change. Y'all already know who my WNBA GOAT is, and you can't tell me otherwise. And
Hmm.
that's Maya Moore. And when she
Hmm.
retired, y'all, she was only about 27, 28.
And that's why I
4
saved the number one
rings,
spot.
4
Yeah,
finals
yeah.
MVPs. Come on now. All right. Greg 144. He said for the NFL corners, Sertain 1, Gardner 2, Diggs 3,
Wow,
Ramsey 4, Sneed is 5. Oh, you put Diggs at
Diggs
3.
at 3.
Yeah. Dix,
That's
Dix can,
interesting.
yeah, because Ramsey's getting old there. I mean,
Hmm.
and he's just not that corner that he. I did go 5 with Diggs blindly because I was doing it with Jay. Sneed, yeah, I would put Sneed before Ramsey, but I like the back end of it. I like I like this list. I like this list, Greg. Good stuff. I like this.
Yeah, I do like this list. This list. I think Sneed should go in front of Ramsey. I don't know. I don't know. I might still push Diggs back to the end. I think he just gets a little too burnt for me at times.
Yeah, but
Jay,
I'm
any
not mad
thoughts
at you.
on his list?
No, for
Because at
me,
least he's
like
being
the only
aggressive.
thing, Diggs is a little high for me
Yeah,
there. I like I said, he
Hmm.
makes a lot of plays. He'll take one back, give you 6, and
Right.
then maybe the next series he's going to give up 6. So that's the only
Right.
reason I don't have him that high because he just takes a lot of chances as a corner.
got you.
Exactly. And then our final one. By the way, thank you for participating with us, Greg. We
Yeah, yeah,
appreciate it.
appreciate you. Yeah,
We
appreciate it, bro.
appreciate it.
Leslie at
Our final
1.
one.
Ooh,
Wow.
He put Lisa Leslie at 1, Maya Moore at 2, Cynthia Cooper 3, 4 is Cheryl Swoops, and 5 is Griner. Wow. Greg, I was
A
cool
lot,
with you. I don't know if you could take Maya Moore out that one
a
spot.
lot
I'm
of
just
people
kidding.
yeah.
do. I mean, I do think Lisa Leslie is probably a little bit underrated. Like when you
She
start
is.
talking about the WNBA greats, because she was really,
Hmm.
really good for a long
Yeah,
time. So,
And a pure winner.
yeah,
So
for
yep.
sure.
all right, guys, we're gonna head into break now. When we come back, Jay will take over. He has some basketball topics and a few NFL topics to talk about as well. Hang around. We'll be right back. So don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. I'm watching you. No, I'm just kidding. You guys are watching the Sideline Speaks with myself, Brittany Jones, alongside Jason Collins and Kevin Walker. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Hello, this is Marvin Lewis, and you're watching The Sideline Speaks with Brittany Jones, Jason Collins, and Kevin Walker. They're taking a break, and they will be right back.
All right, welcome back to the Sideline Speaks. Brittany Jones, Kevin Walker, and Jason Collins. All right, guys, the WNBA had their All-Star game this weekend. I thought it was really a great weekend for the WNBA. A lot of eyes on them, obviously, with just the increased fandom of some of the rookies that have come into the league. And I thought they hit a 10 out of 10 in terms of the presentation, in terms of the game on set. I think they just did every single thing right. But let's start like with the Friday night, like with the skills competition, the 3-on-3 basketball, the 3-point contest. Okay, well, man, what were your just overall takeaways about the skills night and kind of what the WNBA did that night? Just your overall thoughts on that. You're on mute, K Walk.
My bad, guys. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Jay. As far as how they got it right, they definitely did that. You look at everything that the NBA do. You always want to compare it to what the NBA does, and I think that's one of the best things that the NBA does is that that Friday Saturday night deal minus the dunk contest, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think they hit it on the head there, and when you look at it, and I think there was one player that wasn't able to make it. I forget who wasn't able to make it. I think her flight got canceled or delayed, and she
Mhm.
wasn't able to participate in the skills position in the 3-point contest. But Alyssa, she did an excellent job coming out there winning the skill position. She tried to save herself a little bit, for the 3-point contest. Came down to the wire with Joquel and Joquel Jones from the Liberty. She took it to the wire. Was one. If she hit that last shot, she would have won the 3-point contest. But the overall makeup of it, guys, was just outstanding. I watched it, and I was just dialed into it, looking at it, and just not amazed, but just happy that it was as good as advertised, if not better. In my opinion, we've been locked into the WNBA, me more so, even getting to get a chance to
Mhm.
go to a game and just all it's in tune to these ladies and what they're doing and seeing all of these, all of the viewership, the money that they're starting to get now with the NBA, with the television contracts and things of that nature. But yeah, Jay, it's just an outstanding weekend, Friday, Saturday, and the game did not. I repeat, the game did not disappoint. And I know we're going to get into that a little bit later, but for sure.
Yeah, man, it was very entertaining. Like everything, like the skills competition, the 3-point shootout, even the 3-on-3 against the
Yeah,
Olympic, like all of it. It was a chance like where they had a ton of eyeballs on them to really show what they were made of, and they to me they absolutely did. But Britt, what were your thoughts about it?
So from what I was able to catch, I actually enjoyed it. I really was. I wasn't able to watch everything, unfortunately, because I had some things I needed to do. But what I was able to watch, I really was into it. I got to see the skills competition. Brittany Griner needs to work on some of those passes, but that's okay. I'm gonna let her pass on that one. I'm just kidding. She's a big girl, so
I'm
she's
about to
in
say,
the paint. So
yeah,
that's not her job. She's used to getting the ball. But Alicia Gray
Yeah,
killed it. And
yeah,
she actually won the 3-point contest. So
yeah,
I think she's the first player in WNBA history to win
yeah,
both in the same year.
same. So yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought it was incredible. I know X was buzzing about it, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. They were buzzing about it. So I thought it was exciting. A lot of the kids were really excited about it. And I'm just glad that it was aired on a platform where we can all see it. So
yeah.
that was the
right,
biggest thing for me. I didn't have to go searching for it this year.
right,
Yeah, and then if you look at the game and K Walk, you're right. Like the game did not disappoint. First of all, I love the setup of it. And obviously they
yeah,
can't do that
Mhm.
every year, but this
right,
being an Olympic year, they could play the
Right.
WNBA All-Stars against the Olympic team. So
yeah,
I thought the setup, the timing of all that working out was perfect.
yeah.
And then, like you said, the game did not disappoint at all. But what were your overall thoughts on the game itself?
Yeah, I mean, you look at it and you wonder, did the USA committee get it right as far as the players? Because we actually debated that before, when the committee actually selected those players, and we asked ourselves, did Caitlin Clark belong on there? Did Angel Reese belong on there, and so forth and so on? And who would you take off, and things of that nature? And how looking at it now, it's like, did they get it right? Did they get it right? But nonetheless, is the best playing against the best, and I think that I have no doubt about the women's U.S. team going out and bringing home gold. I got more confidence in them than obviously the men, as we talked about it earlier. I think this, them, Simone Biles. I mentioned her, Katie in the swimming, and Shakari Richardson.
Sydney,
Those are, yes.
Sydney McLaughlin, Lorraine,
Yeah.
Okay.
Laverne,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And
She's getting the
and
gold.
Yeah, and Sha'Carri Richardson as well. You know, I got them. You know, they're I don't want to say locks, but they're my high favorite up there. But nonetheless, going back to the WNBA, yeah, I did not disappoint those ladies, from the WNBA All-Star. I mean, just watching Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, that a lot of people wanted to name them nemesis. Seeing them play
Mhm.
well together, especially that one play with the assist, and them, giving one another dap after that play. And Angel Reese has been advocating, saying that, listen, we're not enemies. We like it. We don't hate each other. As
Right.
much as y'all want to throw that out there, it's not the case. They like each other, and you can see that they play well. They play well together as well, for sure. And then brought that victory home, and then Aguabla Wabla. I can never press name. Yugla Wable. Sorry, Yugla Wable.
Agumba
I'm sorry.
Wale.
We're Gooba Wobble. See, I wrote down the enunciation.
Yeah,
Gooba Wobble.
it's a
I get a
hard
pass
one.
for that, Britt. I get a
It's
pass
a
for
hard
that.
one.
I get a pass for the yeah.
Oh no! I,
But I
I,
remember
look, I can't judge you. I can't pronounce some of the basic
that's
names,
what
so
I'm
I'm
saying.
not going
But
to judge you.
Wobbly, because I wrote it down. I broke it up into how to say it too.
Yeah,
But yeah, then this
she was
34 points. Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah.
outstanding, man, just outstanding. So definitely didn't disappoint. I'm happy that they won. The WNBA All Stars won, because it just goes to show
Mhm.
you that even though they're not representing the United States, there's still a lot more talent left in the WNBA, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I believe you could have.
Yeah.
I believe you could send the WNBA All Star
I would
team,
not
and
question
they
that.
and they could probably still win gold as well.
Would not
Um,
question.
I'll tell you what, I'm starting to learn about Angel Reese, man. Like when the lights are the brightest, she shows up.
Mhm.
You remember the
Yep.
national televised game against
Yeah.
Indiana where she
Mhm.
just completely balled out because all eyes were on that game. And then same thing here, man. Like everybody, I think they had over. I think the rating came in at like 3.4 million people watch the All Star game,
Yep.
their
Mhm.
highest rating since like 1997 or something
Mhm.
crazy like
Mhm.
that. But when the lights are on, man, she shows up. Like I was really impressed with how well she played in that game. But Britt, what were your thoughts on the game itself?
Didn't she get a double double? Wasn't
Double
she the
Double
first
double.
double.
rookie
Yep.
Yeah,
to,
she
to
did.
Yep.
grab a? So she making historic numbers even in the All Star game. So no, I enjoyed the game. I love, like, I'm with K Walk. I wish they could do it every year. Unfortunately, you can't do it every year. I love that all WNBA versus Team USA format. I think it's incredible. Um, I'm not. I know a lot of people were saying, well, they should take some of these players that they may have not gotten a Team USA. Uh, uh, the Team USA correct. I'm not on the same page with that, because if we all looked at the last one, and again, the attention to this year's All Star weekend for the WNBA is completely different than the last one when they had the Tokyo Olympics. Same thing happened. All Team US, I'm sorry, all WNBA team beat Team USA, I think about 8 points, and then Team USA won on and won in gold
Yeah.
back then too. So
Yeah.
I'm not making it a big deal. And then at this particular time, yes, Team USA they're competitive players. This is the WNBA. They compete every time they play. They compete hard. They could have been implementing some sort of plays, or they was trying to get used to and adjust it. So, and then all WNBA was probably just playing free. Let's go out there. Let's just have fun. Let's play free. So, um, but I love the format. I love the fact that all WNBA won. Caitlin Clark killed it. Angel Reese killed it. Not gonna pronounce her name, but y'all know who the heck I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
she absolutely should have been on Team USA. That's the only person I'm arguing for. Everybody else, they will get their time. She absolutely should have been on Team USA, but she killed it, scoring 34 points in the second half. And did you see them jumpers?
Yeah.
He's a baller. Oh
He's a
my
flat out
goodness.
scorer. Flat out scorer.
Oh, I'm like, they can't stop her. Even if they wanted to, that's one player you cannot stop. It was crazy. So I'm excited for next year and the year after. And I just know this will take the WNBA to another level. And this just shows the NBA. First of all, you don't need that whack behind dunk contest. You can run a great quality All-Star
Serious.
weekend with that horrible product of a dunk contest, especially if you're not going to revamp it. So You don't need it. You just don't need it.
Yeah, and that the thing I liked about it is nobody was trying to be like too cool for school. Like when they did the skills competition, they were going full out, trying
Yeah.
to
Yep.
post a good time. They weren't like just going through the motions, trying to be cool. Like they actually were competing. That's what I liked about it. The only
And
thing, like Britt, and I'm kind of with you, Britt. Like I don't think we should necessarily start saying, "Oh, should we pull this person off the team and
mhm.
replace them with that person?" But the only thing that kind of struck me about the game was it didn't feel fluky. It didn't feel like, oh, they just kind of got lucky. Like it almost felt like if we play
Yeah.
this game again next week, we'll beat you
Yeah.
guys again next week.
Yeah.
And that was like
Right.
that kind of had me like, man, do we have the right people on this team? So K Walk, I'm gonna come to you on this. If you were in charge of this thing, and it's too late now, obviously they're not going to make any changes, but if you were constructing the roster, like, would you have Arike Agubawale on that roster? Would you have Caitlin Clark on that roster? Would you have Angel Reese on that roster? Or would you say, no, I think I'm okay with what we got?
I think we're good with what we got, man. I really do. And if you want to just put in it, if you want to put those ladies in there and replace them, it's just a matter of not if you win, but how much you're going to win by. That's just it. If you want to be greedy, then yeah, you throw those ladies that you just mentioned, on there. But I think we're good. We're looking at it, and I know before when it first came out, we debated it. But looking at the All-Star game, I think we're in good hands either way. Whether you add those three ladies, Reese, like Wobble, I think I got that right. And Clark, I think we're good there either way, man. I don't think it's going to disappoint, but I think we'll be all right either way, Jay. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
I'm with you. I think they're going to win either way. They played an exhibition today. I think they won by like 25 or something like that. So yeah, so I think we're going to win either way.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting conversation. Britt, you said you weren't really for it. Would you change anyone? Arike, would you put her on the team, or you okay with her?
I mean, if that's the one person I could put on the team, I would definitely put her on the team. But I'm sitting here looking at the roster, like, who am I going to pull off though? Because they're all talented, and it's just like, who am I going to pull off? Alyssa Thomas, but they play two different positions, so the guard position is a little.
I would take Chelsea Gray off, and I know that's probably controversial, but she's just getting back. She hasn't really been herself.
But I can argue with that.
Her movement is not great right now. She doesn't look like she's really back in tip-top basketball shape. I would, if I had to pull one person, I think she might be the one. Even though she's fantastic, I think I'd pull her.
I said, but you know what? She could be using this to ramp up. So these are just the preseason games prior to the actual Olympics. So she's using these next so many games. What did they get? About 4 games, I think. 5 games to ramp up prior to Olympics. By the time the Olympics come, she'll probably be back almost. I'm not going to say back to her full normal self. We don't know. I don't know what injury she had. But she'll probably be close to it. And then we're going to be like, dang, she's killing it. Then we're going to want to pull her off. So.
Yeah.
But they're young, Jay, I can't say her name. Say it for me.
Arike
Agubawale.
Yep.
She's young. Caitlin Clark is young. Angel Reese is young. I think, Diana Taurasi, she's going to retire. Kelsey Plum is getting up there. Brittany Griner, they're getting up there. So their chapter is closing.
True.
The other 3, their chapter is just beginning. So the next Olympics, I expect those 3 to be on the team.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, y'all. Good stuff. Let's move on. Let's jump back over to the NFL, because we've talked about a lot of different NFL topics, but we haven't talked about the Super Bowl champs much. And we know the Chiefs right now are working on a repeat. And the big question really is can they three-peat? Can they do a historic three-peat for the NFL? We've seen it in the NBA on a couple of different occasions. I don't think we've ever had a three-peat in the NFL. Is that right? I don't think even if you go back to, maybe even some of those 70s teams when the league wasn't what it is now, I don't think we've ever had a three-peat. So that's really the question, K-Walk. Can the Chiefs pull off the historic three-peat? What do you think about that?
Can they? Yes. Will they? Heck no. They will not do it. And I'm advocating because the fact of the matter is, I've already said it. and I'm gonna say it today. I said it yesterday, and I'm gonna say it tomorrow. The 49ers are going to win this year's Super Bowl. I'm just saying that. I mean, barring any major injury, I wholeheartedly believe that. So they will not do it. 49ers will get it done. Barring any major injuries there. So no, they will not do it, Jay. And I even think that coming out of the AFC, I think we'll see Lamar Demetrius Jackson step up. I think he has those weapons now that he needs, especially with that running game that with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry doesn't have to be the Derrick Henry that he was in Tennessee. You look at that offense, with Lamar and you got Andrews back as well, and those younger receivers as well, Zay Flowers, and you got that running game. And again, you can ground and pound if you want to with Derrick Henry, and then you got the read option there with Lamar Jackson as well. And that defense is going to show up. So I think they're improved, they're motivated. Lamar Jackson is hearing all of the noise about him being, the one that has the most pressure on him, and him not living up to,
Mhm.
the hype and all of that all that stuff. And is he overrated when we talk about the list and things of that nature? So I think they'll come in, and I think they'll come in, and I think again, barring any major injuries, I'm going to stop saying that because that's what I mean. Barring any major injuries, I think they are the team to beat in the AFC.
Okay. So you don't even have them getting back to the Super Bowl.
No, I do not.
Okay. Okay. Britt, where are you on this? Can the Chiefs three-peat? Will the Chiefs three-peat?
Look, I want to agree with K Walk. It's kind of like that thing with the Warriors. Remember when we thought the Warriors were completely out, and K Walk was like, it's like a well-oiled machine. I'm starting to get there with the Chiefs, so I'm not 100% sure. I just don't know if I trust Lamar Jackson right now. He's going to have to really show it to me, because what happened the last playoffs when they probably should have won that game, turned the ball over. He was just the mistakes was just out of this world. And that could also go on the other side in Kansas City. Maybe people felt like, they got a little lucky because of some of these mistakes that occurred with other teams, because they didn't necessarily blow out any team that they played throughout the playoffs. And I do agree, the Baltimore Ravens did improve with Derrick Henry. I think they added a couple other pieces on defense as well to help bolster that the defensive side of the ball. But they also lost the linebacker that I think he went to the Steelers, I believe.
McQueen.
Yeah, they also lost Patrick McQueen. I mean,
Mhm.
although they still have the better one in Roquan Smith. I'm gonna throw the Texans in there. I think they're young, but boy, they scrappy. I love that team. They play hard. They play well together. They got some very nice pieces as well. Those would be the only two teams that I honestly think that can potentially beat the Chiefs. But we can't act like the Chiefs didn't get better neither. They also added pieces. I know they lost L'Jarius Sneed, which I do think is a big
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah.
They still have Trent McDuffie over there, but that's only one side. Um, they added, I don't know how, was it the Bills? I don't know who allowed them to get Xavier Worthy, but they
That's
got
overrated
Speed
pick. He's
and
overrated.
Hollywood Brown.
Trust me.
Well, I mean, look, when you got Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes and Pacheco, all you need is somebody to run down the field, and hopefully they can catch the ball, because Mahomes will get it to you. So, and then on the other side, the 49ers would be there. I think the Eagles would be up there. I think I don't have the Dallas. I think they're going to take one step back, unfortunately. I think, oh
You gotta throw
man,
the
I
Lions
don't
in there.
know.
You gotta throw the Lions in
Yeah,
there. The
and the
Lions will
thing
be
is,
there.
I want to put the Lions in there. I just got to see it one more time. I have to see it one more time to sing with the Packers. And I actually like both of those teams. They're young and they play very, very hard. So I'm a little torn on this one. Can they three-peat? I'm with K Walk on this one. Will they three-peat? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to three-peat. I know I'm basically saying the opposite
Heck
of what
no.
you just
Heck
said.
no.
I just don't know. I think I'm leaning more towards K-Walk. I think it's motivation right now for a lot of these teams, and they're going to look at the Chiefs as saying, you know what, you're a target on our backs. Not only because you won a Super Bowl, but you trying to make history. We don't want you to make history. And then the 49ers and the Eagles, I think they have some redemption to figure out there. So I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say they're not going to three-peat, but I'm about 40% positive on that. I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
I'm
That
100%,
team,
Joe. I'm
that team is
100%
just
positive.
look. They got a fantastic head coach, a fantastic quarterback, fantastic
Mhm.
tight end, and as we have seen in history, those are the three pieces that you need. So
Yeah, I don't think they will either. I just think it's too difficult. I think there's a reason why it's never been done before. It's hard to win. It's hard to win two in a row. I think winning three in a row, those seasons start to get really long. You're playing into February,
right,
back to back years. They barely did it last year. They were just kind of hanging on last year to get it done. They had some things go their way. Some luck was kind of on their side, which you need
yeah,
sometimes to win.
right.
I'm just not sure all the ducks are going to align for them another year. Not that they won't be a good team, but I just think some of the teams that you guys mentioned will eventually knock them off. I don't think they're going
And
to repeat.
if we look at the last couple years, and I know he showed up when I guess it mattered the most, right? Patrick Mahomes, those last two Super Bowls were not necessarily his best overall games. So, and if K-Walk, if I do think that if Dre Greenlaw did not get hurt, we might be having a different conversation. In that one unfortunate was it fumble with the punt or the kickoff or
Yeah.
whatever it was, that
Yeah.
was just to me that was a weird play as well. So that was kind of unfortunate as well. So like you said, Jay, it's a little bit luck on your side.
Yeah,
um
you need it. You're gonna get
right,
lucky at some point. If you're gonna win the
right,
Super Bowl, the ball's probably gonna bounce your way at some point. But again, like the only thing, like I think the only reason people even give him hope is because of Mahomes. Because say what you want about the guy, but he is a playmaker, right? Like
yeah,
Mhm.
when the money is on the line, he does make plays, and so I think that always gives him a puncher's chance.
that's
But I don't
that's
see it
why when
happening.
that's why when you had the opportunity to put them away, you got to put them away because the is going to make he's going to make a play when it matters the most. He's
Yeah.
going to do it. So you got to
Yeah,
put that team
yeah,
away.
especially when the most penalized team in the regular season doesn't get called for a holding penalty in any of the Super Bowls that they've ever been in. Not just last
Blew my
season.
mind.
I'm talking about the season before that, the Super Bowl before that. They didn't even get called for that, but throughout the season, they were
Blew
the most penalized team in holding.
Okay, well, it blew my mind because if we look back at the film, it was some holds in there, but you call
and
the
even this,
one
and even the season before, even the year before that, Britt, with your
right.
Eagles, man.
It was definitely some holds in there. But hey,
We digress. We
I
digress.
question storylines and narratives all the time, and you guys get on me for it. So,
Mhm.
but whatever.
All right. So
Swiftly,
for the
and we'll
record,
swiftly
But
we'll
they're the
move
Super
on.
Bowl
And
champ,
swiftly we'll move on.
right? Because we going, oh, they hating, all this, all that. I'm like, no, it's facts. If we pay attention to the film, it's facts.
Yeah, I ain't
all
saying
right.
no lie.
So for the record, none of us have them winning another one. Not no, or at least three
Well,
people.
not
Yeah, at
three
least
people.
three
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
All right. Let's
I do think they'll get to the AFC
championship game.
conference championship.
I
Yeah,
I
agree
can
there.
see
championship
I
that.
game
agree
though.
there.
I'm
I
with
agree
I
there.
think
I'm
they'll get
with you
there.
there. I feel like if they get there, though, I don't think they're. I agree with you, Britt. If it's I'm not. I like Lamar. I just he's got to do it for me, and he just for whatever reason, not even blaming it all on him because it's not all on him, but
Right.
until you actually get it done, you know. So I don't know. Like in that game, I guess too depending on where it is. If it's in KC or Baltimore, I think that could be a
What about
toss up, but.
how do you feel about the Texans? I know they're young, but what they showed us last year, and I'm still going to claim it because yeah, I'm a brag. I'm not a bragster, guys, but I'm bragging today. I was the only one that last year that took them to win the division
That wasn't
at the
hard to do.
beginning of the season. No, I took them at the
That
beginning of the
division,
season.
that division wasn't hard to win. They're hard to predict.
Okay,
And
well,
Anthony
you
and
get to
Anthony
the
Richardson.
Texans.
I'm sorry, but I'm just trying not to give you your props. That's all. I'm sorry.
Give me my props,
You
man.
got
Give me
it.
my
You got it.
props.
Props to you. Props to you. Props to you.
I like them, Britt. I just don't know if they're ready yet. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think they'll be good. I'm just not sure. I think they could get it all the way done.
Yeah,
But we'll
I
see.
think I agree with you there. They're just one of my favorite young teams over in the AFC. So
Yeah, I like them.
I like that
I
team.
like
I
them a
love
lot.
these D'Amico Ryans.
They're fun to watch too. A lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Let's move on. Last week we got into a little discussion about those quarterback rankings and who should be in the top 10, who shouldn't be. So we said, look, this week come back with your top 10, and then we can kind of talk about that. So, okay, well, this is how I want to do it. I want to kind of do it in stages because I'm guessing. Obviously, I don't know who's on your guys' list, but I'm betting that our top four are probably the same people, maybe in a different order. I don't know, but I think we might all be on the same page with the top four. So, okay, well, just give me your top four first, and we'll see if we at least can agree on that. Because I guarantee you, once we start getting to the back end of the list, we're probably going to have some disagreements. But give me your top four just to kick this thing off.
Yeah, we mentioned both of these guys, 1 and 2, and in this order. Mahomes, I got 1 there. 2, got Lamar Demetrius. For everything that we mentioned. 3, I got Josh Allen. I know he lost a lot of weapons there. I know he lost Diggs there, but I think this young kid, Keon Coleman, is going to kind of get him back on track, if you will. This young kid is. I just love everything about this young kid. I know he's from Florida State. I'm a Gator fan, but nonetheless, he's no longer Florida State guy. Well, I guess he will always be. But Josh Allen, I think he gets back to it. I'm going Joe Burrow. I got Joe Burrow at 4. I know he's been hurt. I know he's been hurt, but I think that a healthy Joe Burrow, which I expect him to be this season, is. I could easily put him in front of Josh Allen, but I didn't because of Josh Allen's mobility there. I just think he can carry a team a lot farther than Joe Burrow with the right weapon. So again, Mahomes, Jackson, Allen, and Burrow.
All right, I got the same 4. My only difference is I got Burrow ahead of Allen.
Okay.
I gave Burrow the slight edge just because for me, there's still a little bit of that risk taker. I'm going to throw one up every once in a while in Josh Allen that I think Burrow takes care of the football a little bit better. So that's the only reason I put Burrow ahead of Allen. But like I suspected, we got the same 4 guys in that top 4. Britt, who's your top 4 so far?
What? I put Dak Prescott in mine. No, I'm just playing.
Oh, go ahead, Britt. Go ahead.
I play way too much. I put them in my bottom 4. No, I'm just playing. I'm messing. One, of course, Patrick Mahomes. I don't think anybody's better than him. It's funny because 2, 3, and 4, I was actually kind of going back and forth. I didn't know if I wanted to go for this year or just overall career. I wasn't sure. So I'm still sitting here like maybe I should switch it back. But 1, Patrick Mahomes. Right now, 2, Lamar, but I might actually move him to 3. I'm still not sure. 2, Lamar Jackson. 3, Josh Allen. 4, Joe Burrow. I think if Joe Burrow can stay healthy for a full season, I think he absolutely moves up. I actually might put him at number 2 just based off of talent and that fact that he does have the weapons to do it. But we've seen him get to a Super Bowl. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy the last couple of years. And the reason why I'm still not sure about Lamar being a definite 2, I just don't trust Lamar Jackson in the playoffs when it comes to playoff time. Josh Allen happens to run into Patrick Mahomes when we've seen that one battle in the playoffs, which was one of the best playoff games I think we've seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
But Jay, you did make a valid point. Sometimes he just throws the ball up. I'm gonna just try to play hero ball. And at times that's very frustrating when you have your running back or when you have a wide open receiver right in front of you and you just don't take it. So 1, Patrick Mahomes, 2, Lamar Jackson, 3, Josh Allen, 4, Joe Burrow.
Okay. So we got the same 4, slightly different order on a couple, but we got the same 4. All right. So we're good. Okay, Walt, give me 5, 6, and 7. Well, let's see if we can stay on the same page here.
All right. 5, I'm going with Matthew Stafford. With the Rams. I think everything that he has around him, started with Puka, and he's starting to get a lot more. I forget who they drafted as well, but he's got a lot of talent. And you look at his numbers. Last season, they were close to getting to the playoffs. Obviously, they ran. They're in the same division with the 49ers, so it didn't pan out for them. But I like them. I like Matthew Stafford here. I still think he has a strong arm, tall guy, can run when he needs to. Six. I got my man Brock Purdy. I got my man Brock Purdy because we've seen what Brock Purdy could do. A lot of people are saying, Brock Purdy, is just a quarterback who's surrounded by great talent. But if you looked at him in the NFC Championship game against the Detroit Lions, even in the final part of the Packers game, he took it upon himself to run the ball, make great decisions, make great throws. One of the best throws that I've seen him make in a crucial situation was to Chris Conley in that game. So I went Brock Purdy 6, 7. I got Jalen Hurts. I still think that Jalen Hurts is a top 10 quarterback, obviously top 7 quarterback. I think if he has the right coordinator, which I think he does now, with the right talent, which I think he obviously does with the receivers, but again, adding Saquon Barkley to that mix is going to make him an even better quarterback, without question. And I just hope that Kellen Moore can put him in the right situation. So I got 5 Matthew Stafford, 6 Brock Purdy, and 7 Jalen Hurts.
All right, good stuff, K. Walk. You and I have zero overlap.
Okay,
five, 6, and 7. I got Justin Herbert at 5. I was going off of pure talent. I think arm talent. When you look at this guy, I don't think he's been maybe in as good a situation as some of these other guys that we've talked about. I think in the right situation, we would actually see this guy flourish. So I got Justin Herbert at 5. I got Dak Prescott at 6. I think Dak is highly underrated. I think if you look at Dak and what he's done, the consistency and the way that he performs, I think Dak is a guy that's got to be on this list. So I got him at 6. And then at 7, I got the young guy. I know he's only done it for 1 year, but that's all I needed to see. CJ Stroud, cool, calm, under pressure. Nothing rattles this guy. Can make all the throws. I got CJ Stroud at 7. So I got Herbert, Dak, and CJ as my 5, 6, and 7.
And this is the problem I have with this list. What a lot of people say, how in the world do you put CJ Stroud ahead of Brock Purdy? Please explain that to me.
The reason I would put CJ ahead of Brock Purdy, because this is exactly how I thought about it, K-Walk. I said if I had a ready-made team, if I had my offense set up, my defense, my receivers, my everything's set, and I said, okay, I gotta plug in a QB for this roster. And CJ and Brock were my 2 choices. Man, I would take CJ over Brock. That's just me. Like I think
no one processes faster than Brock. No one processes faster than Brock, man.
He may, but what I saw out of CJ Stroud on a team not as good as the team that Brock plays for, I was highly impressed. That's why I would take him over Brock. And I think I would not be surprised if 2-3 years down the road, like it's not even a question which one of them is better. Like I wouldn't be surprised at all if CJ ascends to like a top 5 quarterback in the league. That would not.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's good, but better than Brock right now. Right now, nah,
based off of like my projection coming into this year.
So what are we basing this off of? Because I keep hearing longevity. I keep hearing last season. And I'm basing this off of this season. What I expect them to do this season.
That's kind of how I'm looking at it. What I expect them to do this season.
This season, but yeah. So you expect Brock Purdy. I don't even know where you have Brock Purdy yet. So before I say that, but go ahead, Britt. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Britt. Give me your 5, 6, 7.
Well, I guess I can't walk on tear into me too.
That's rough. That is rough.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna get torn into from this one guy. I mean, if he stays healthy and he has the right mindset, then they're gonna tear into me anyway. But 5, I gotta give the old man some credit. If he stays healthy, I think they got a decent squad over there. They just needed a quarterback and an offensive line. I put Aaron Rodgers at 5.
Not mad at that. I'm not gonna tear into for that one.
I had to put Aaron Rodgers there. I just felt like, I mean, we can't forget what type of player he is. It was unfortunate that he did get hurt. He's fully healthy from my understanding from this miracle treatment. So as long as he's really healthy, I think the Jets are dangerous on the offensive side of the ball because they had the quarterback that they needed. 6. I'm just not. It's like Matthew Stafford. I'm not sure. And this is when I was torn again. Should I put Matthew Stafford up there? Yeah, you know what? I put him up there. So 6, I put Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
I do think if he's healthy and he's hitting on all cylinders, he has the team. Puka Nakua is fantastic. Cooper Cup is fantastic. I think they'll be good to go. Um, 7, I did put CJ Stroud. Look, I like CJ Stroud. He's a young, one heck of a talent. Just only in 1 year, he has shown me so much. He's accurate. He makes good decisions with the football.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a player like AJ Brown or Devontae Smith or Debo Samuel or
Here's
Brandon Ayuk,
Nico.
or I can go on and on and on.
Oh, he's got some
And I
receivers
get,
there. He's
and
got
don't get
some
me wrong,
receivers
I
there.
get Nico, right? But he was also he's also a rookie, if I can recall, right? Wasn't he also a rookie? He was the second year in, something like that. He's also a
Yeah.
very young player. So, but are we gonna put Nico up there with the other receivers I just mentioned? I don't know if we're gonna put them up there like that with the offensive line that the other two teams have. I don't know if we'll put them up there. So the fact that he was able to do with that team and they gotten better, in my opinion, this year, they added more players. I had to put CJ Stroud at 7.
I'm not mad at it at all, Britt. I like it. Okay, well,
Disrespect.
give me 8, 9, and 10, man. Who you got?
8, 9, and 10. 8, I got Jared Goff here. I think he is probably one of the most underrated players in there, quarterback wise. I think that even taking to the Rams to the Super Bowl a few years back,
Yeah.
and then traded for Matthew Stafford, and then what he did last season. I know how he has, St. Brown there, and they, they were, a player or two away or whatever. They couldn't close the game against the 49ers, but he looked good for the most part. I mean, he put the ball in crucial times. He put the ball in the guy's hands, but some guys that did not come up with the catches. So I went with Jared Goff, and I think he's, they're motivated. I think he's going to be ready to go. 9, I went with the old man. I still kept Aaron Rodgers in the top 10.
Okay.
I still think that, regardless of him being the age that he is and coming off of the Achilles injury, I expect him to be motivated. I expect him to come out there with the Kellen, Keenan Allen, and Garrett Wilson, and I think he drafted the young kid as well. So I think this offense is going to match the defense from a talent standpoint. Hopefully, Robert Saleh, understands that he's on the hot seat and can get these guys going, and hopefully Nathaniel Hackett, can make the right calls there as well. And number 10, I think I put him at 10 because I think he's the most accurate quarterback, underrated accurate quarterback, and that's Tua Tagovailoa. I really do think this guy is underrated. I know it's maybe unorthodox because a lot of people are seeing these right-handed quarterbacks, but then when you see a left-handed quarterback come in here, you generally don't want to give him his props. But I think Tua Tagovailoa deserves that number 10 spot for me. Just on the cusp, if I can give an OLI, ladies and gentlemen, like as we like to call it in our show, outside looking in. I put Trevor Lawrence and I put CJ Stroud after Trevor Lawrence.
Wow.
Just to let y'all know that, where I have CJ Stroud as far as, because I knew CJ Stroud was going to be a big topic on this between Brittany and Jason and myself with Brock as well.
Behind
So
Trevor Lawrence.
I have behind Trevor Lawrence, ladies and gentlemen.
Was Dak on your list, K-Walk? Did you have Dak anywhere on your list?
No,
so you would have Dak behind Trevor Lawrence and CJ Stroud as well?
CJ Stroud would.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
I stopped at 12, but he is behind. I didn't put him in a particular order, but he is behind, obviously, behind CJ Stroud.
All right. I got Stafford at 8. I think both of you guys had Stafford a little bit earlier, and I might have him a little bit low, honestly. I'm just not a huge, I mean, he could be a little bit higher, but I got him at 8. I got K-Walk's guy Purdy at 9. Nothing bad to say about Brock at all. I think, he's played extremely well, but I'm going to keep watching. Maybe he'll move up that list as we go through the year. And then I agree. I think left hand does look a little unorthodox at times, but I think Tua can play extremely accurate, can place the ball. So I have Tua at 10. So that's my 10. Britt, how did you close out your list?
Wait, did you have Jared Goff on your list, Jay?
I do not have Jared Goff on my list, or Aaron Rodgers, or Jalen Hurts.
Well, number 8 for me, I put Jalen Hurts on my list. I think he gets very disrespected by a lot of people. Um,
So you
yeah,
can
they
put
had a
my thing.
situation. They had a situation last year, but I think he's going to be motivated and get back to that 2022 form. And I think people need to watch that 2022 season again and realize that he's a lot more accurate than what people think, and he was making very good decisions. Um, Sometimes you can't help if there's a huge dysfunction with the coach and the front office and the team. So sometimes those are certain things that you just can't overcome. But I think, just listening to him and watching him work, and I think he'll be back to form. And he's healthy. So he'll be able to use his legs because that's one of his strengths as well. 9, I put Brock Purdy at 9. I just think he makes good decisions with the football, but both these guys I still think have a lot to learn. They're still both young quarterbacks, but I think they're good young quarterbacks. And then 10, I was a little torn with this one, but I did pick Jared Goff at 10. I had to see a little bit more from him. I like what he did last year, but there was a reason why the Rams let him go so many years ago, and just make sure uh, this wasn't a fluke year. So, but I do like his game, and I like where he is headed. And then after that, I had Jordan Love, and then after that, I think I put Dak Prescott, and then after that, um, I had who am I missing? I'm missing some Tua. I don't like Tua like that. I'm just not a huge fan of
That's what
Tua.
many people do, bro. That's the thing about it. That's what many
I
people
look
do.
to his decision making. I'm just not a huge fan of Tua whatsoever. Like I like him as a person. I just don't. I'm not a huge fan of him as a player. He's going to have to show me a lot.
Y'all help me out with Rodgers because this guy's 40 years old, coming off an Achilles. I don't even remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't even remember him being the Aaron Rodgers that everybody thinks he was like the last couple years before he got hurt. Like, was he really playing that great when he was still in Green Bay? Like, I don't necessarily remembering him just like, blowing everybody out of the water.
I
Why
think
are we still on Aaron Rodgers at this point?
I I think the situation with his last year was the receivers weren't necessarily catching the ball. And remember he kept calling them out. And we was criticizing him for calling these young
Yeah.
receivers out. And I'm like, just be the leader that they need, support them, try to be the leader to help them get through it because it's a moment in time. So I think they changed some of those receivers. I don't know if they have some of those same receivers that they had then. They could, maybe one or two are still there, but
Hmm.
they were dropping almost
Yeah.
every pass that he threw to him. So it wasn't necessary. He wasn't performing well. They just wasn't catching a ball. So, and then he
Okay.
decided to move on.
Yeah. Jay, that's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly he and Devontae Adams were going through the same type of pains, if you will, opposite for opposite reasons.
Right.
He's a great quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, but he just had no one to throw to or catch the ball. Devontae Adams is the best receiver in the league as far as I'm concerned, but he had no one to give him the ball. So they once they departed, once they separated, they realized they needed one another. They really
Right.
did need one another. So Brittany's spot on with that is that he did not put up the numbers because he just didn't have. He had a bunch of rookie receivers, old veteran receivers that just couldn't get the job done. Didn't understand the playbook, no timing, no chemistry whatsoever. It could be because he was in the cave in the off season, and going through whatever he was going through, meaning Aaron Rodgers, and not connecting with these guys, and that's why I talk about it. And even this season, earlier this season, he went to he stepped away from OTAs, and when you have all these new
Mhm.
receivers, and I say it's important to build that chemistry as quickly as you possibly can. But that's the reason why, to answer your question, Jay, I agree with Britt there.
Yeah, I guess for me, like if I'm just thinking about this upcoming season, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be that great. Like I'm not saying I think he's going to be terrible or anything, but I just think at some point, like this ain't basketball. Like football is a young man's game, and he's one hit away from not being out there. So I don't know. Like
Well,
I just don't think he's
Maybe
going to
it'll be
be that
Monday night.
great.
Hopefully, it's the
Like,
first
I
Monday
don't
night
know.
game.
I don't know if I agree with you that when Jay, all them old players in the NFL. Come on now.
but
Tom Brady
40,
was the
like
first. Calais
yeah,
Campbell still
yeah.
playing.
Tom
Jason
Brady's
Kelsey
an
just
anomaly.
retired. So
Yeah.
um
I don't know. I just don't know what the mobility is going to look like. I know he's good. I know he can still throw the football. He'll probably be able to throw it when he's 60. But I don't know. He's going to have to make me a believer because right now
I
I don't
don't
believe. I don't
I
believe.
don't think he has long. I don't think he has long. I think it's basically this year and maybe next year. Then I think he's done. I don't think he has that much longer,
I think
Florida.
he's gonna. I think
I'll
he has
I'll be
long.
shocked.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. It's yeah, third and long, second and long. I think yeah, he has long. He has long, Brett. I think he'll be.
I was like, wait, what is he talking about? His career?
Yeah, yeah.
How old is Aaron Rodgers? I don't know how old
He's
he
gonna be.
is.
He's
I
40. He's
think
gonna be
it's
40, right? He's gonna be 40 this year,
He's
I
going to be
believe.
40. So yeah, maybe one or two
Yeah.
more years, and that
And
includes
coming
this
off an
season.
Achilles injury, and then opening up the
Mhm.
season with the 49ers with the newly acquired Leonard Floyd as well, who put him out last season. So
yeah. He
yeah,
might not get out of that game.
Well,
awesome.
they better shore up that offensive line. I know they got
Mhm.
some players, but is it enough? So that's going to be
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, while we
All
play the
right.
game, so
Good stuff, y'all. That we're gonna have to revisit this like midway through the year and see how some of these guys are playing. See if we
all
were
right,
right
Jay.
or wrong
Jay,
about
just
some of these
just
guys.
came through. CD Lamb's not reporting to camp, seeking a new deal. So
Man,
contract. This just came through.
we'll get it done.
Yeah.
Jerry will get it figured out.
Yeah, they're
Jerry
Mhm.
get it
definitely
figured
going to
out.
get it done, but hopefully Dak Prescott is still there to throw him the ball.
I saw
He's
something
not a
this morning
priority.
that they were talking about
Don't
Dak
make
is going
sense
to
to me.
reset the market at the quarterback position. Did y'all see
Makes
that?
no
They were talking
sense.
about that this
I
morning.
wouldn't.
Said
I
he's
Yeah,
going to
wouldn't doubt
reset the
it.
market probably somewhere
I
in the
seen it.
they were saying about 60 million a year or something like that. So we'll see if it
Go ahead
happens.
and give
That'll
Dak 60 million.
I'm
Go ahead and give
K
60. Go
Walk. K
go
Walk.
ahead.
I am
Go ahead.
okay with
Yeah,
that one.
OT. I'm OT with
That will
that.
mess you up for players like Micah Parsons and anybody else whose contract is getting ready to come up. Good luck.
hmm
I'm okay with
Yeah,
that
Jay.
one.
The
Ooh,
boys will
Jay.
figure it out. The boys will figure it out, man.
Mm, mm,
They
All
said
right,
that the
y'all.
last 30 years. It
Um,
ain't happened
I
every
can't
year.
wait. I can't wait for football season to get
mm.
going. I
Oh,
cannot
Oh,
wait.
you can't wait for the Cowboys to
I,
fall flat. Got
I
to.
can't wait, Britt. Till
I'm
we
just
win
kidding.
that. Now, when we win that NFC East, they just don't say nothing, Britt. When we win that NFC East,
that's why I
Win the
can't wait for that. I
NFC
can't wait to.
East. And you won the Super Bowl this year.
hey, one step at a time.
No, scratch that. Can you get past the second round? I'm not even
One
gonna put you at the Super Bowl. Can you get past the second round?
one step at
Get
a
past the
time.
second round, then come talk to me. Get
One
to the
step
second round,
at
then
a
come
time.
talk to
I'm about
me.
to say, girl, that's perfect.
All right, y'all. Let's do who's balling. Wait, do y'all have rants? I don't have a rant, but if anybody has one that wants to fire one off, we can do a rant before we wrap this thing up.
I
Everybody.
just got a quick one, man. I just
All
got a
right.
quick one. You guys are excluded from this because we just did the list. But I do have a problem with the execs and the NFL execs and NFL head coaches not putting Brock Purdy in the top 10. I get it because you guys, don't want to put him in there because that means you guys missed out on Brock Purdy. So you don't want to put a Mr. Irrelevant guy in there. If you look at all of the lists, if you got all the guys on that particular list, you've seen that there's every single one of those players were first round picks. First round picks. If you look at every single one of those players, I get that, and it doesn't make any sense to me. But that's why I argue with CJ Stroud there, even being a first year guy.
Mhm.
Brock Purdy has shown everything. He's made every single throw. He's made every single play when he needed to. Listen, I've heard arguments like, "Oh, well, this guy he's good because he doesn't have this particular player, or he make this player looks good." And well, he didn't do it because of the fact of the matter he didn't have players to throw to, or he had this guy. It sounds like what Brock is in the same argument there. Brock is in the same argument because Brock misses one throw or two throws or whatever. He's condemned for that. But for those who the NFL execs and head coaches and all those who compile this particular list, shame on you. Shame on you. Brock, do your thing, man. Stay healthy and go prove what I've been saying for since the end of last season is that we're going to win this Super Bowl this year.
That's an go ahead, Britt.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's an interesting point, Gay Walk. I hadn't thought about that. Like the execs putting like first round draft picks in there just to kind of
Mm-hmm.
cover themselves and make themselves look good, so to speak. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. That's pretty interesting.
You know what, K Walk? I'm gonna go with you because there's one player on this list, and I love him as a potential talent, but he has done nothing since he's been in the league. But nobody gives him that Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts criticism that those two guys get, and that's Justin Herbert. What? Tell me one.
That's why
What
it's not
has
on my
Justin
list.
Herbert done?
That's why it's
That's
not on
why
my
he.
list,
That's,
Fred.
that's why
Great
he wasn't
point.
on my list. What has Justin Herbert done outside of be injured every single year? I understand the potential talent there. All players got potential talents, but you got to play, right? And then when you got to, then when you play, you have to perform, right? So when he has played, he had some talent. He had Keenan Allen at one point. He had Mike Williams at one point. I got it. Those guys somewhat got hurt, but when they were there, they wasn't necessarily winning at times. And then he gets hurt constantly every year. So if you could tell me what he has done greater, and they've been in the league just about all around the same time, greater than both Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts, since they all been in the league, he should not be up there. If you want to put Tua up there, I don't care. If you want, Justin Herbert should not be in there right now at this moment.
Thank you, Brett.
I guess for me, the way I look at it though is like all situations aren't the same. And I think a lot of the NFL execs probably look at it like if all things being equal and I could plug and play a quarterback, I think they would plug and play Justin Herbert before a lot of these other guys because of the talent. Now, his situation may not be as good as some other places, injuries, all these little things that come up. But I think, like I was saying earlier, like on a ready made team, and you're just saying, okay, all I need is my quarterback. I'm not sure you wouldn't pick Herbert before some of these other guys if everything else was equal, the offensive line, the receivers, the running backs. I think talent wise, you could argue that right outside of those top four guys, he's the next most talented guy.
Yeah, if he stays hurt. But even when he was playing, at times there was questions about his decision making. Remember, he was turning the ball over a lot as well. So, like I said, remember he coming out. I'm still a Justin Herbert fan as far as talent, but we need to see a little bit more than just talent. We need to
Yeah.
see you play.
And I think coaching too. Like, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how things are going forward. But
But
I
again,
don't know.
once we get halfway through the season, this might change.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. All right, y'all. Let's do who's balling and wrap this thing up. Every week we want to shout out a team, a player, or coach, somebody who's absolutely getting it done. We call it our who's balling segment. K Walk, who you got? Who's balling?
I'm going to go with my Miami Heat Summer League team. Last night they defeated the Memphis Grizzlies for the Summer League championship, led by Josh Christopher, my man. I think it's LaShawn. I can't pronounce his last name, but our draft pick there. He had the game-winning shot, went into overtime. First year coach as well, led them to the Summer League championship. So just shout out to those guys, young guys, future of the Miami Heat. We can surround them, Pat Riley, with a superstar, man. We got the future is bright for us. So shout out to the Miami Heat Summer League team for winning the Summer League championship. They were absolutely balling.
Yeah, K Walk, you kind of stole mine. That's
Oh, my bad.
exactly where I was going. I was going to say the Summer League championship because the whole game as a whole was just extremely entertaining. And I'm usually not even locked in on the Summer League like that, but I happened to turn to it, start watching. I'm like, man, this is a really good game. Scottie Pippen Jr. played a really good game for Memphis. There was just a lot of talent on the court in general. So for a Summer League game, Summer League championship, that the whole game was just extremely entertaining. So shout out to the NBA Summer League championship game. All you guys absolutely balling. Britt, who you got?
I'm going to go a little bit of a different route because I think we should also expect him to win the gold at the 200 meter for sure, and potentially even the 100 meter. And that's Noah Lyles. The 2024 London Diamond League always occurs before the Olympics happen. This past weekend, ran a personal best in a 100 meter. Mind you guys, he's a 200 meter guy. So he's just coming over to the 100 meters this year. Personal best, crossed the line in first place, going up against some big time guys. ran it in 9.81 seconds, and he's only getting faster because as he adjusts to the 100 meters. So, Nola Lyles, you were balling. I gotta do the running thing.
Yeah, that hundred's going to be very interesting because I
for
know
sure, man.
Jamaica's
Very
got a guy that I think has run the fastest time in the world this year. So that
And
100 meters is going to be very interesting.
And the crazy thing is, our guy, not Noah Lyles, because remember he's a 200-meter guy, but I think it's Chris. Is it Coleman? Coleman's his name. Didn't even make the Olympics.
Yeah.
So, and he's supposed to be one of the fastest guys in the world. He didn't even make it
Yeah.
for the 100-meter this year.
Could be interesting. Off topic, but do you guys think Sha'Carri's going to win gold? If you just had to predict, do you think she brings home the gold in the 100?
I know I had said it earlier that I had confidence in her winning gold, but I'm still going to stick by that. I think she has a great chance to win. I have to stick by my guns,
Okay.
to stay consistent. So I'll say, yeah, I think she has a really good chance. She's confident. It's confident she's ever been, and in quite some time, and she's winning consistently. So I think she has a really good chance of winning gold. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Britt, what do you think?
It's going to be a tough race because I think this is Shelly Ann Fraser's Price last Olympics, I believe. So she's going out, and then we got Sharika Jackson.
Yeah,
She's trying to redeem herself. She got mad after the last one, so
yeah,
I'm gonna go with Sha'Carri.
Okay.
Sha'Carri. I'm gonna go with Sha'Carri Richardson. She's been working at it, and as long as she gets her start now, she's been working on it. As long as she's get her start.
Yeah.
Then I think she blows everybody else out. Not by much, but she'll win.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I don't know if I have her winning it. That start, I think, I don't know. I think if that start, you're right, Britt. If that start does not improve, I don't know that she can win because it is hard to run people down. Like you just can't rely on the fact that you got to run people down. So
just as fast as you, if not faster.
Yeah. Trying to run somebody down. I don't know.
She just did it again, I think, and it was against Sharika Jackson. So she ran them down.
It's gonna be interesting.
She got that late speed that comes out of nowhere. So hopefully she can.
I was surprised she didn't make the 200 meter because I mean I know that's probably not her race, but
I think she ran like a 21.99 or something like that, didn't she? No, that's that's not Olympic.
You were running faster than that in high school, K.
I was, brother. I was.
You were running what you run like 21.3 or something like that?
Nah, I think it was 21.6. 21.6 was my fastest.
That's Gabby Thomas.
Gabby's tough.
But I don't know if Gabby can beat Sharika Jackson.
Yeah, I don't
that's
know
Sharika
either.
Jackson's event. So
it's gonna be fun.
Close.
It's gonna be fun. We got a lot to look forward to. That's for sure. All right, y'all. Good stuff. Before we get out of here, K-Walk, let the people know where to find you and if there's anything you're looking forward to this week.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Facebook, Kevin Walker, on Instagram, Kevin.Walker142, on X at Kevin Walker142 as well. Tomorrow night, barring any system issues, gracious, you can catch me on Sports Talk with K Walk and E. Scott. Never had it so good. Sports Radio, 7 p.m. wherever you get your podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in. We got a great one dialed up for you again, barring any system issues. We are live and we're ready to go because anytime we miss one, we're like depressed kids, man. We're like a depressed kid on a rainy day. When school, there's snow out there and you still got to go to school and you're depressed because you're thinking it. That's how we were. That's how we are when we miss a show, ladies and gentlemen. But we're fired up to bring you a great one tomorrow night. Again, Sports Talk, K Walk, E. Scott. Never had it so good. Sports Radio. I'm just looking forward to baseball, Olympics. We'll talk the Olympics as well. What else do we have going on this weekend? I don't think we have anything else going on this weekend right now. I know camps are starting right now, so I'll be dialed into a lot of camp talk, around the league as well, seeing, who's doing what, who's looking like who's hurt, things of that nature, knock on wood. So I'm looking for.
All right, good stuff, K-Walk. You guys can find me at Jason Talk Sports on all the different social media platforms at Jason Talk Sports. Yeah, K-Walk, this is sort of a downtime, right? I'm not really watching a lot of baseball. I'm waiting for the Olympics. The WNBA is on a break. There's nothing else really going on. So I guess it's just the Olympics for me that I'm kind of waiting on here, but hopefully that'll be a lot of fun. I know it will be once it gets going. Britt, what you got?
You guys can find me on X, aka Twitter, aka X, whatever which way you want to say it. Instagram at Brittany Monique's at the bottom of the screen. No Y on Brittany. It's just Brittany Monique. And I'm looking forward to the Olympics. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to I've been watching baseball. Might be because my team is, I think, still holds one of the top records in the game. Yeah, I think that's it. It is not a whole lot. So you guys are
Yeah.
right. Oh, and what K-Walk said, looking forward to training camp, which started for my Eagles today. So I'll be looking forward to those tweets. Give me them tweets for the people who could went there. But I just got one quick thing to say. I do not care if any quarterback in camp is 5 for 15. It is practice. Nobody cares. So I don't want to hear about that. Just tell me how everybody else is doing.
Talk about
Like,
practice.
relax. I hate the Jalen Hurts or Justin Herbert or whoever got a grade C minus today.
Yeah,
What are we talking about? It's the beginning of camp. Relax.
All right, good stuff, Britt. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thanks for sticking around. We will be back here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. So for Brittany Jones and Kevin Walker, I'm Jason Collins, and we'll see you guys next week.